Hey, Jason, having spent 10 years of my career in inside sales, cubicle based, hundreds of sellers, we were selling computers over the telephone at Gateway Computers, and it drove me crazy to see people that were just there to take orders. And what you say is many people end up being order takers. I'd like your take on that. Can you elaborate for the audience?
So, and it's so funny because, again, obviously that was the impetus for writing this, was just my experience, kind of like yours, just seeing hundreds and hundreds of salespeople come and mostly go from sales, and that same experience. For me, what I see is the cause is that people end up in sales. They don't make it a lifelong goal. They didn't play salesperson, sales rep. They weren't selling, fake copiers to their friends when they were 5 years old in their bedroom. Maybe they were. Some of them might be, but they probably weren't. And so what happens? They end up in a sales role. By that point in everyone's life, they've had some experience buying from a salesperson or seeing their family or friends buy. And so they know that type of person they don't want to become. They know that commission breath salesperson who's really pushy with their own incentives, does manipulation, tries all the tricks and tactics, and uses all the slick closing lines. And so they've made a mental decision that they don't like to buy that. They don't like to buy that way. And they would never want to be a hypocrite and do that to other people, right? The golden rule is in effect. And so what happens is, instead of being on that end of the scale, they go to the other end, which is essentially to be an order taker. And so they don't understand that there's a way to persuade like a professional in the middle, where it's actually your duty and responsibility to help people. They default to, like, I don't want to push people. I don't want confrontation. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to be a bad salesperson. So I'm just going to hope as my main strategy.
Let's talk about business leaders and business owners, Jason. The saying is so true. As the leader goes, so does the team. So what can business owners and business leaders do to support their sales teams to be even more effective than they are right now?
I think one of the biggest things is go long-term with the thinking, because in that same way that salesperson with one deal in their pipeline and, not enough stuff coming through is desperate for that one. I see a lot of leaders and owners who are driven by KPIs and numbers, and they're desperate in the moment. So they're kind of pushing that scarcity and fear down on the team because they need deals, right? They need to hit their numbers. They need to make their revenue right now. And so they put that pressure, and they make the team close short-sighted, kind of short-term sales at the cost of, long-term results. And so when the leaders can take that longer approach, put in the things in place, and have the right mindset where, hey, we're doing this long term, we will get there, just close deals the right way. That's part of it. The other part is the leaders should see, and this is where I see a lot of them aren't necessarily doing it well enough, is that their job is servant leadership, right? And so their job is to serve their sales team and help support them. If their reps do not have enough leads or enough contacts or the right technology, they should be filling that in instead of making their team just figure it out and hopefully get the results. Those two things would help a lot.
From my perspective, one of the worst things that a leader can do with their sales team is put pressure on them as they're going into their sales conversations. You need to close something this week, or you might not be employed here anymore. Kind of the coffee is for closers kind of approach.
Exactly.
Actually, all you're doing if you do that is making people doubt themselves and be afraid. And the energy that a salesperson puts out is exactly what they receive back from their prospect. So if you go into a sales conversation and you're scared, that energy transmits itself to the prospect, and it comes back to you as the prospect is scared, and they won't buy if they're scared.
Correct. I mean, it's like animals, right? I mean, animals can sense fear, prospects can sense fear in the same exact way. It makes them freak out. And I think the other thing that leaders do, which is, the other classic thing, which can have negative effects, is the carrot, right? So you're talking about the stick and the, close a deal or else. And then there's the carrot, which is, hey, if you close a deal today, I'll give you a big bonus, or I'll give you this, or President's Club, or we'll do whatever. And then all of a sudden that carrot, if it's not appropriate, will shift the the salesperson's mind to the carrot and not on the individual they're talking to, and hopefully can sell. And then again, you have that really excited, commission driven salesperson who repels prospects.
And that brings to mind my very favorite quote ever from my great mentor and co-host Gene McNaughton is that salespeople can smell commission breath 5 miles away.
Well, Jason said it too. I mean, isn't it true though? Somebody's trying to push you so hard that you immediately back off.
Yeah,
it is. And for me, and what I, focus on helping salespeople do is really have that same level of pressure and backed by persuasion for the other person's benefit. Right? There's nothing wrong with pushing someone to take action if it's going to help them and it's for their benefit, and yours is secondary. I'm all about win-win, but it can't be, lose-win. It's got to be, we both win, but I'm going to push you because I care.
Yeah, and it's very fortunate that it's also true that if a salesperson goes into a sales conversation brimming with confidence, excited and enthusiastic about the result that their prospect can receive from the product or service, and really wanting to help that person do what that person wants to do. If those things are present, the energy that the prospect is going to pick up and mirror back is all going to be positive stuff, and a positive buying decision is upcoming when that happens.